Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. Today I am reacting to a video called The Weakest Home Domestic Violence Spoken Word. So let's begin.
وإن أوهن البيوت لبيت العنكبوت لو كانوا يعلمون. The weakest of homes is the home of the spider, if only they knew. And it's not just because of the web, but also for what happens inside it too. The most fragile of homes, home to the most ferocious of family feuds, a husband and wife relationship that is solely based on being used for consummation. See, as soon as they finish mating, the wife would then consume the body of her own husband. It's disgusting, and so can the children be too. See, as soon as they mature, they would chew upon their own mother as a source of food. It's sinister, it's crude. I don't want to imagine it, but it's true. And such the examples that are used, not because God can be cruel, but for God to prove that the weakest of homes are those in which the inhabitants are abused. See, marriages are meant to bring happiness, and the home is a refuge of tranquility and comfort to all those who walk through. And if you ever do happen to fall into disputes, you must learn to understand that the marriage isn't always about you. Rather, it's learning to live together as one, although we are still living together as two. In a home where everybody knows that they belong, with love, kindness, and mercy, so we could all just get along, and there's no need for fighting every time something small goes wrong. Because you can't build a home upon violence and then expect it to stand strong. I mean, what kind of man would harm his wife in the darkness of the night, leaving her to bleed as he scars her for life, having to cover up her bruises as she tries to hide them from sight? See, he's so focused on her responsibilities, but fails to realize that he also owes her rights. See, as a husband, you're meant to provide, protect, respect, guide, and guard her. You are her garment, her lifelong partner, her prince charming who should charm her, her knight in shining armor.
Exactly.
But a night has turned into a nightmare as he spends his nights trying to harm her. As she begs him on her knees, please, I need you to be calmer. I urge you, see, patience is a virtue. I never even heard you. I promise I didn't mean to hurt you. Please don't be mad. And please don't let the kids see, cause it's not right for a dad. It's sickening, it's sad that such scenes are happening in reality within the homes of so many broken families. It's a calamity that we forgot what the meaning of marriage is. Did you forget that the best of you in character is he who is best to his wife? The best of advice from the one who never harmed a servant, child, or wife in his whole entire life. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He was the best of examples in how to treat a woman right. See, if his wife had cooked something he had liked, he would eat it, and if he didn't, he would leave it without expressing an ounce of dislike. He would even refuse an invitation to food until his wife had also received an invite, and he would help around the house too, just to make her workload light. He was the pinnacle of being polite. And he taught us that the strongest of men is not he who knows how to fight, but rather he who restrains his anger right at the moment of strife. So have patience, brother. I mean, you wouldn't allow it for your own mother, daughter, or sister. You wouldn't bear to watch another man punch and kick her, so the next time you even think to cause her trauma and hit her, you need to understand that she too is another man's mother, daughter, or sister. So dear sister, no human being deserves to live a life of violence alone. So if he doesn't treat you with kindness, don't live in silence trying to fight this on your own. Rather seek help from God first, and don't be afraid to then pick up the phone and let your people know that you are no longer willing to live in the weakest of homes. Violence against women? Islam says no.
I know that some of my brothers beat their wife because of the verse in the Quran that they have misunderstood clearly. And the surah is 4, the verse is 34, which says, "But those wives from whom you fear arrogance, first advise them, then if they persist, forsake them in bed, and finally strike them. But if they obey you once more, seek no means against them, Indeed, Allah is ever exalted and grand. So the problem is they don't read the context of what they read, and they read the part where it says finally strike them, but if they obey you and all that, the rest of it, subhanallah, they will strike. They will say, oh, you know what, we can beat our wives. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not command you to beat your wife. First, how can I prove that? First, you have to read the verse in context, and the context does not begin when it says finally strike them. It begins way before. Secondly, you have to look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Did he ever beat his wife? Let alone children, servant. No, never. Yeah, he striked. He beat his enemies that were against Islam and him, but he never that were against Allah Azza wa Jal and him and Islam altogether. But he never raised a hand against a servant, wife, against a child. Never. So if he never did that, why would you do it? This is the second reason. The third reason, look at the companions of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the close companions who understood Islam so much, like Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu, Omar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, and so much more. There are many companions. Look at the close companions of his. Did they strike their wife? Did they beat their wife, like bleed them, give them bruise? No. So this verse doesn't mean what you think, my brothers. Some of my brothers that beat their wife. I mean, how can you beat your wife when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam commanded his companions, commanded the believers to be polite to his wife, compassionate, kind? How can you beat your wife? This doesn't make sense. You know, a man is not a man if he's strong, if he has muscles, if he can beat people. This is what people nowadays says. You know, oh, you're a man. Oh, look at those muscles. No, everyone can have muscles, but a true man that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said was a man who can control his anger while he's angry. A man who does not break his promises when he promises. There's a few examples. This is a man. This is why you need to get knowledge, you know, and this is for me first and foremost. We need to get knowledge. I and you, we need to get knowledge so that we don't do mistakes. I hope you subscribe to this channel, my brothers and sisters. Share this video with everyone, with your family, non-Muslims, with Muslims, and like this video and tell me what should I react to next. I hope to see more of my brothers and sisters, inshallah, in this channel and share my journey with you, my journey of reaction. Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum.